New this morning, Mountain Home Air Force Base is about an hour away from the Treasure Valley, but many people around Boise might not know about the thousands of servicemen and women who could be their neighbors. With the area known for its recreation, food and drink, and so much more, you might not think of it as a major spot for military training. This morning, I'm taking you inside Gowan Field to learn more about the Idaho National Guard.
Oftentimes when we wear the uniform downtown, people ask us if we're from Mountain Home. And no offense to Mountain Home, but we're Idaho Guardsmen.
There's a strong military presence in Boise, but if you don't look closely, you might not even notice. The south side of the Boise airport is where you'll find Gowan Field, home to the Idaho Air and Idaho Army National Guard.
So this is where we're based, and I don't know that a lot of people realize that your neighbors, your school teachers, your policemen, your nurses, they all work out here. A lot of them work out here as guardsmen.
And it's at Gowan and local training areas south of Boise where the civilian soldiers and airmen of the Idaho National Guard train several times a year in order to stay combat ready, just in case they're called to active duty. So if you look to the skies during a picnic or are catching a flight at the airport and see intimidating military planes flying around, please don't think the City of Trees is under attack.
Our flying operation happens out of a joint use field, so we share that with civilian air traffic, the commercial traffic and the private planes.
While Gowan Field does accommodate the Marine, Army, and Navy Reserve on the federal level, it's the roughly 1,300 Air and 3,300 Army troops of the Idaho National Guard that live and work in our Treasure Valley communities, and who you would see responding to Idaho state emergencies or larger-scale natural disasters. But no matter if they're protecting the people of Idaho or the entire nation, they're constantly training to be combat ready.
We just deployed over 1,200 airmen and soldiers down to Southern California for a major exercise. For the Army, it's their capstone exercise at the National Training Center. After they finish that exercise, then they'll be available for combat contingencies worldwide.
That means several of our local heroes in plain clothes vanish from the Treasure Valley for at least 2 weeks to be thrown into simulated war scenarios.
And that's the dynamic that the active duty doesn't really have to deal with, is we share our airmen with their employers in the community. So when we do these big exercises, we all come together, and what needs to get out to the community is how appreciative we are to the employers to allow these soldiers and these airmen to maintain their readiness and go do the joint fight.
A sacrifice for the families and employers of those that serve in the Guard, but as those who participate will tell you, an incredibly important event for their training.
It's unique in what it can duplicate, especially given this location, which is near Nellis Air Force Base, and it's one of the few locations where we can have both Army and air assets integrated and working together on a scale of this size.
And they want you to know that they're ready to go.
For everyone to know in this state, in this valley, that we are Idaho Guardsmen that serve our nation, but we also serve our state, that's truly important. Our goal is to be ready to fight and be ready to support in times of natural disaster or crisis, and we'll be there for the community.
And later this week, I'll take you back to Gowan Field to learn all about the famed aircraft the Idaho National Guard has been flying for over 20 years, the A-10 Warthog.